Tonight on Beach TV News, U.S. warships arrive off the coast of Israel, while desperate Israelis fleeing for their lives arrive in Los Angeles. Our reporter is on the ground with their harrowing stories.
And, closer to home, the Biden administration is facing intense criticism after approving the construction of a new border wall in South Texas.
Plus, records are broken and champions will be crowned. Our sports gurus are in the studio breaking down all the action.
Beach TV News starts now.
Welcome to this edition of Beach TV News. I'm Shane Jacobson.
And I'm Andy Lopez. Beach TV News is brought to you by the broadcast journalism students at Cal State Long Beach.
It was 1 week ago that Israel woke up to the horrific attacks by Hamas that killed more than 1,300 people.
And tonight, the country is on the verge of a full-scale war with ground troops ready to invade Gaza at any moment. As a ground invasion on Gaza seems imminent, a new player is entering the conflict. As we come on the air, the UN is reporting that Iran has sent a stern message to Israel. Iran saying it will be forced to intervene if Israel moves forward with their ground offensive in Gaza. An already volatile situation in Israel would turn into a regional war if Iran gets involved either directly or indirectly. Iran's warning comes as the Biden administration has been trying to deter Iran and Lebanon-backed Hezbollah from joining the war. There are also mounting concerns that Iran may have helped Hamas carry out their bloody attack on Israel. Israel intelligence insists that Hamas's attack was too sophisticated to be carried out alone.
Even as Iran threatens of huge consequences to come, the United States has pledged their unwavering support to Israel. The United States has moved naval warships and increased fighter jet presence in the area. Today, the Pentagon offered a second carrier strike group to the eastern Mediterranean Sea. Those 2 U.S. warships are not intended to join the fighting in Gaza, but the message for Islamic terrorists in the region is very clear. In addition to the $3 billion that the United States gives to Israel annually, Secretary of State Antony Blinken says the U.S. has also sent additional ammunition to Israel, and special operations forces are collaborating with Israelis' intelligence. Hamas is recognized as a terrorist group by the United States, the European Union, and the United Kingdom. President Biden has made it clear that the U.S. supports Israel in its efforts to stop Hamas at all costs.
Let me say again, to any country, any organization, anyone thinking of taking advantage of this situation, I have one word: don't. Don't. Our hearts may be broken, but our resolve is clear.
Well, the death toll continues to rise in the war between Israel and Hamas. Here are the latest casualty numbers, and you can clearly see the devastating losses on both sides. In Israel, more than 1,400 lives lost and 3,000 injured in the largest attack against the country in decades. 29 American citizens are among the dead. At a music festival just 3 miles from the Gaza border, rescuers say more than 260 people were ambushed and murdered by Hamas. Over the past week, thousands of rockets were launched by Hamas, and gunmen on the ground shot civilians while taking at least 100 hostage, including several Americans. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said they are still working overtime to verify how many Americans have been killed and how many are unaccounted for.
The situation in Gaza is already dire. Tens of thousands of Palestinians are fleeing for their lives at this hour ahead of the Israeli ground invasion. More than 2,600 people have died as Israeli forces have continuously pounded the Gaza Strip with airstrikes now for more than a week. Israel has begun to block points of entry into Gaza, cutting them off from access to food, water, and electricity. The blockade has made it impossible for people to leave and for humanitarian aid to get in. On Saturday, Israel announced it was giving Palestinians a short window to flee northern Gaza, where most of the fighting is taking place. About 600,000 civilians packed into cars, taxis, pickup trucks, even donkey-pulled carts. Roads were filled with snaking lines of vehicles strapped with suitcases and mattresses. Those without other options walked, carrying what they could. As we already mentioned, tens of thousands of people have been trying to flee Israel since war broke out. Many Americans have also been stuck as multiple airlines canceled flights going to and from Israel. But this morning, one flight from Tel Aviv landed in Los Angeles. Beach TV News' Ava Domicelli was there and spoke to some of the people who have witnessed the war firsthand. Ava, what can you tell us?
Thanks, Shane. Yes, I'm here at LAX where heartbreak and horror are touching ground. Over the past few days, people coming directly from Israel have landed here after the recent Hamas attacks.
Many were forced to leave loved ones behind in Israel. Some are still caught in the crossfire of this ongoing war, and some families remain separated overseas. Los Angeles local Robert Friedman anxiously awaits the arrival of his grandchildren, who are visiting Israel on vacation.
We were there for the holidays and stuff, so very nervous coming back. And they were trying to get out of there before, but there was no flights coming out or anything, so because the rockets are coming all over the place, and they were just really worried. They're coming now, so a little bit less stressful.
Many people that we know have unfortunately passed away, so it's horrible.
While some were waiting for those coming home, others catch their breath after finally touching ground.
Just happy that I'm here, alive. That's it. Not anything else.
It's a miracle. It's a miracle. I don't have any other word. That's amazing, a miracle that I see my son here. We won in our world.
Tearful moments flood the airport after loved ones are finally able to reunite. Others grapple with what's still happening between borders.
It's just ferocious what's going on. It's a complete genocide. It's a war.
Best you can say.
We're feeling good. We're feeling good, thank God. We're strong. It's very sad. But I hope now the world can see what we're dealing with. Step by step, we're going to figure it out.
Several airlines around the world have canceled flights to and from Israel, and the Flight Administration Authority, or FAA, is warning pilots to fly overhead with caution.
We are happy they are finally out of harm's way. Our thanks to Ava Dominicali reporting live from LAX. As war escalates in Israel, many protests are happening around the world in support of both Israel and Palestine. From New York City to the Bay Area to London, demonstrators are rallying in light of the recent clashes between Israeli soldiers and Hamas. Palestinian Americans are protesting outside of Israeli consulates in Atlanta and Chicago as they hold signs up saying Palestine will be free. American politicians are also joining in the protests. Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi led a Jewish community gathering in San Francisco to support Israel. And here at Cal State Long Beach, a student-organized protest took place in support of Palestine.
In other news, Republicans have chosen House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan from Ohio over Austin Scott of Georgia to be their nominee for House Speaker after a contentious week in the Capitol. Earlier in the week, Jordan was beaten for the position by Majority Leader Steve Scalise. But Scalise dropped out of the GOP conference after facing too much in-party opposition for the Speaker role. With the search going into its third week, Jordan will be looking to secure the needed 217 votes, but so far appears to be falling short with only 155 House Republicans pledging their support.
Back here in the U.S., the White House has announced it's waiving 26 federal laws to greenlight the construction of a border wall in South Texas. President Biden, who made a campaign promise not to build the wall, says he tried, but failed to reappropriate the funds. The new wall is being built using funds that were appropriated by the Trump administration. This is coming on the heels of a drastic surge of migrants arriving at the U.S.-Mexico border. Last month, the Border Patrol apprehended 200,000 migrants attempting to cross the border, the highest total this year. The Biden administration is facing intense pressure from all sides to get the situation under control. Meanwhile, thousands of migrants remain in limbo, living in tents like these and pushing border cities to a breaking point.
We now go to North Alabama, where protests erupted in Decatur after the police-related killing of a black man outside his home. After 39-year-old Steve Perkins was killed by police the week before, people began marching in Decatur, demanding for transparency with the police. They called for the arrests of the officers and body cam footage of the shooting, but police say they will not release their footage during their investigation, but they did place one officer on leave. The dispute allegedly started when a tow truck worker tried to repossess Perkins' truck. That driver called police saying that Perkins had flashed a gun at him. Minutes later, officers arrived on the scene and asked him to get on the ground, Police say Perkins refused, so they started firing at him. But a family spokesperson says police shot him and never allowed him to follow commands at all. Perkins later died at a nearby hospital. He is survived by his wife and 2 daughters.
Kaiser Permanente and their workers have finally reached a deal after their historic strike. The healthcare company and unions that represent Kaiser employees came to an agreement Friday morning. A big part of the deal states that Kaiser workers will get a 21% raise over 4 years. Their 3-day strike earlier this month was the largest healthcare strike in history, with employees from California all the way to Washington, D.C. participating. Kaiser employees stated they were critically understaffed and workers were underpaid, resulting in patient care being affected. The employees involved in the strike will vote to ratify the new contract starting this Wednesday.
And speaking of the health industry, new regulations and mental health discoveries have been unearthed. Our reporter, Roberta Frame, has more.
The FDA warns hospitals about using probiotics in premature infants. After a preterm baby's unfortunate death was linked to probiotics, the FDA cautions healthcare providers about the risk of infections. The FDA letter mentions a case where the infant received the probiotic eVivo with MCT oil, manufactured by Infant Health. The baby developed sepsis caused by the same species of bacteria. Infant Health is cooperating with FDA's investigation and has agreed to recall the product and notify healthcare providers and hospitals. 1 in 9 Hispanic adults age 45 and older experience subjective cognitive decline, according to the CDC. A report from the Alzheimer's Association says Hispanic Americans have a higher risk of Alzheimer's. It is crucial to be aware of early signs of this progressive disease, such as a decline in memory loss, thinking skills, and an increase in confusion. To prevent this irreversible disease, some things you can do that could be helpful are exercise and control diabetes and high cholesterol. As many nurses go on strike due to staff shortages, nursing schools are facing problems accepting new students. The issue isn't just a lack of nurses in the hospital, there aren't enough teachers to train new ones. Last year, over 78,000 qualified applicants couldn't get into nursing programs, according to the American Association of Colleges of Nursing. Even when schools have enough teachers, there aren't always enough hospitals for students to learn. Hospitals also limit how many students each teacher can supervise. To make things even worse, the pandemic led to burnout, causing some nurses to leave their jobs. To help this problem, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services is investing $26 million to train more nurse teachers.
Thanks, Roberta. We're going to take a short break, but when we come back,
Simone Biles makes her triumphant return to the gym after a 2-year break with a new historic record under her belt.
Plus, stunning images of the blazing solar eclipse that lit up our sky this weekend. If you missed it, there's still a way to see the rare ring of fire. Those details next.
I immigrated to America when I was 20 from a country called Uruguay. I have 2 careers. I'm in the Army Reserves, and I have a civilian career as an engineer. And I have 2 wonderful children. Every day is a challenge to make sure that the time that I have, I spend with them. It doesn't matter how tired you are, you have to be there. You have to be present for them. You have to try to teach them when they learn something new and it just clicks in their brain. I just realized I could do this. And you can just see in their faces. It's such an incredible moment. It's those moments that are my favorite.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. Remember the best planned 90 minutes of your life? Or that surprise party for your parents' golden anniversary? You get the golden planning. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive, ZWX. you're not okay to drive.
YGKLVW. Regular you.
Welcome back. Afghanistan is still reeling from a devastating quake that claimed the lives of more than 2,000 people. And many people are still declared as missing. BTVN reporter Ava Domenichelli has more on that story and other world headlines.
A bus crash in Italy killed 21 people after driving off a bridge. The bus caught on fire after its plummeted in the historic district of Venice, injuring several passengers, including multiple children. Nearby bystanders heroically jumped in to pull riders from the burning bus. Italian police are currently investigating the incident, as poor guardrails on the road may be to blame. Many speculate the engine's electric battery was the cause for fire, though this remains in question. Survivors from the crash are currently monitored under critical care. Flash floods in India killed nearly 50 people as the death toll continues to rise. Heavy rain caused a glacial lake to burst, pouring icy waters through the Himalayan state of Sikkim. 150 people remain missing. A hydropowering dam was destroyed in addition to homes, roads, and bridges throughout the area. The drinking water supply is also now threatened as the people of Sikkim struggle to pick up the pieces after the wreckage. Though this Himalayan area is prone to flash floods, scientists had been warning that the more frequent extreme weather patterns may cause this glacial burst. Over 2,000 people were killed from dual earthquakes which recently struck Afghanistan. Both quakes of 6.3 magnitude hit the city of Herat back to back. Thousands of families are still separated after the disaster destroyed countless homes and businesses. This catastrophe, declared one of the deadliest in the decade, hit during a time of economic stress in the nation. The people of Afghanistan continue to search for thousands still missing in hope for a better tomorrow.
Thanks, Ava. And now to some exciting news about our campus. Cal State Long Beach was just recognized with the prestigious Seal of Excelencia, an honor shared by only 30 universities nationwide who intentionally serve their Latino students. Christina Ramirez has more on this story.
Party up in here. Congratulations!
They say there's a first time for everything. Well, for the first time, Cal State Long Beach is receiving the Seal of Excelencia award this year.
This award honors institutions who go beyond Latino enrollment by actually serving their students and accelerating their academic success. Let's take a deeper look to see what this award means and how the beach is contributing to the Latino community.
The beach is one out of about 38 schools nationwide to be presented this exceptional honor that recognizes the intentional efforts to uplift not only Latino student success, but all student success. Provost and Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs shares her insight on how important this honor is for the beach.
Students can thrive. This effort through the Excellencia in Education organization is a testament to the fact that we really do have measurable ways to demonstrate we're supporting the success of our Latinx students and all of our students.
So why is the seal so important? It's a symbol of commitment of confronting structural barriers for minorities by setting the pace for institutional innovation and making sure students are successful with beneficial programs offered on campus.
Students should check out like for example, ASI puts a lot of great programs like EOP, programs like SSSP, Gen Excel, and other programs, even, visiting, I think it's called now Beach.org or Beach Events, where they can actually be notified of all the different events that are on campus. So, I believe that student involvement is very critical to the learning process of our students.
To celebrate this prestigious honor, students and faculty ate cultural foods while enjoying an ethnic performance by the campus's Grupo Folclórico Mexica. Student president of the group, Alondra Ordaz, shares how meaningful this acknowledgement is, especially during Hispanic Heritage Month.
It means so much to me because it's so hard to find a place for students like us in a big school like this. So to know that there's a place here for us that caters to helping us is really, really special and important.
This respected recognition is the work of many hands who helped reach this achievement. And the beach is here to say, sí se puede.
Well, speaking of excellence, the talented Simone Biles continues to cement her name in the history books. Following a 2-year hiatus, Simone Biles is officially the most decorated gymnast of all time. The 4-time Olympic gold medalist made history last week after securing her 37th medal in the 2023 World Artistic Gymnastics Championships. Biles now holds the world record for the most combined world championship and Olympic medals by a male or female gymnast. She took home 4 gold medals during the weekend, making the 23rd gold medal Biles has won. Before the win, Biles just returned to competition in August after a 2-year break following the Tokyo Olympics. In the NFL, one team seems to be the clear Super Bowl favorite, while one man is changing the sport of soccer in the U.S. Our reporter, Marvin Andrade, recaps all that plus the latest on the MLB Division Series. Marvin?
Thank you, Shane. The MLB regular season has come to an end, and the stakes could not be higher this postseason. It's starting to intensify. Let's tune in on where teams stand. Dodger fans are in disbelief as their 100-win team collapsed versus the Arizona Diamondbacks in an embarrassing fashion. Dodgers were the heavy favorites coming to the series, but by defeating all the odds, the Diamondbacks shocked the baseball world, sweeping their divisional rivals. The Dodger bats went cold as their team only managed to score 6 runs in the entire series. The Diamondbacks are set to face the Philadelphia Phillies in the NLCS after defeating Atlanta Braves. Over to the American League, where the Houston Astros defeated the Minnesota Twins, clinching their 7th ALCS appearance in a row, leading them to a playoff meeting with their in-state rivals, the Texas Rangers. Texas secured their spot for the first time in the ALCS since 2011 by sweeping the Baltimore Orioles. It marks the first time that the Orioles have been swept in any series this season. While the MLB is reaching the end, the NFL season is starting to heat up. The San Francisco 49ers remain undefeated after a demolishing 42-10 win against the Dallas Cowboys. The 49ers offense picked up where it left off last week, Brock Purdy throwing 4 touchdowns in the game to cap off his incredible night. 3 of those touchdowns were caught by the tight end George Kittle. It is the first 3-touchdown game of his career. The defense rattled and disrupted the Cowboys' offense, causing 3 interceptions and 4 sacks in the game. As we look at the top teams, the 49ers alongside the Eagles are the only teams that remain undefeated heading into Week 6 of the NFL season. From football to football, the MLS is heading into playoffs, but legendary soccer player Lionel Messi will not be playing after a disappointing elimination. Though he is having a huge impact since arriving to Major League Soccer 3 months ago. Messi won Miami their first trophy and led them to 2 finals. It's not only the impact on the pitch, but also off the pitch since joining. Ticket prices have soared by nearly 2,000%. Some estimate the league could profit around $256 million. The GOAT has also attracted a star-studded audience, which includes Hollywood celebs like Prince Harry, Selena Gomez, Leonardo DiCaprio, and yes, LeBron James. With Messi changing the way the league is viewed, it's something we haven't seen since David Beckham joined the league back in 2007, shaping what the MLS has now become. Meanwhile, as Hispanic Heritage Month comes to an end, we wanted to highlight an athlete with Hispanic roots, who is already leaving his mark at the beach. Beach TV News reporter Kevin Fernandez has a story.
Long Beach's state men's basketball team received a new addition this year.
The newly transferred point guard, csulb, is ready to make a splash here at the beach. Isael Silva, who goes by Isa, is a first-gen Mexican-American from Sacramento, California. He is also the first in his family to be born in the United States as a Bracero descendant. Silva is well known as a highly talented basketball player. He is one of the highest-rated recruits ever to come to the beach. The 6'4" point guard decided to enter the transfer portal, following 2 seasons at Stanford, as he explains his decision to take his talents down to Long Beach.
The driving factor was just I was ready for change basketball-wise, to be in a different environment where I can grow, and this was the best place for me to be with the coaches, Coach Munson. Not just his vision, but just the type of person he is.
The playmaking Silva is exactly the player Munson needed to initiate a better flow for the offense. They're both hoping his abilities as a passer and knockdown shooter can elevate the program to the next level. I caught up with Coach Munson to discuss why Isa is the perfect fit both on and off the court.
He's a good basketball player, but he's a lot better human being. He's just a really good guy. You know, he represents his Mexican community very well. He represents his school very well. But, you know, there's just not very many Latino or Mexican Americans, you know, playing basketball. So, you know, he's always held that burden.
Although the number of Hispanics playing in professional basketball are still low at 7%, Silva believes it is inevitable the game will continue to grow for more Latinos.
And Latino basketball doesn't just mean like Mexican Americans or like, they can be from anywhere. And I think as long as we stay together, if you're from Costa Rica, from Argentina, like it doesn't matter as long as we're together. I think that's the main factor in how we can grow the game. And hopefully I can play a part in that. And that's my goal. to represent Mexico. Hopefully in the next Olympics, like be down there playing for that team.
Isa Silva is ready to give the fans a show. Reporting from Long Beach, Kevin Fernandez, Beach TV News.
I'm now joined in studio by Kevin Fernandez. Kevin, I'm excited to see what Isa has to bring to the beach. Since you were around the team, what do you expect this season with this new addition?
You know, after speaking with Coach Munson and Isa, I'm expecting the offense to take a leap this season. You know, with Silva's passing and playmaking abilities, you know, I'm expecting the team to gun for a Big West title this year.
Honestly, I can't wait to see what the offense has to cook up. I wish Isa and the team best of luck this season. Something the Dodgers lack. Come on, Kevin, what happened? With this abysmal performance, who is it to blame? Is it the superstars or is it Dave Roberts? I personally think Roberts has to go. Sure, he's great during the regular season, but time and time again, he has failed to show any signs of victory in October, besides the year of 2020.
Yeah, listen, you know, I'm not opposed to the idea at all. I definitely think they may need a new voice in the locker room, but you can't put all the blame on him. It's tough to manage when you have two of your top players in Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman go 1 for 21 in the entire series. Only one hit, Marvin. And on top of that, you have your starters unable to give a quality start. This is a team that has now lost 6 straight playoff games, 2 inferior teams that they should beat, Marvin. You know, this is an organizational failure from top to bottom, in my opinion. It's incredibly frustrating for Dodger fans to have their team in the playoffs 11 straight years, only to have one title in that span and have it be in the COVID season.
Yeah, like you mentioned, time and time again, Dodgers win lots of games during the regular season, only to be a no-showing in October when it matters most. Dodgers fans are just clearly frustrated. When it comes to October, it seems like the Dodgers are lifeless with no energy or passion. Something needs to change. It's honestly rough to be a Dodger fan at this point, but they weren't the only 100 regular season win team out of this season, postseason. What are your thoughts on the new format? Do you think it's causing so many upsets?
You know, lots of people have been talking about the new format. Me personally, you know, I don't think that's no excuse. You have the teams like the Orioles, Braves, and Dodgers all went over 100 games just to combine for one postseason win. But it's absolutely no excuse. If you can't win against a team that you should beat when it matters most and the stage is the brightest, then you were never going to be a World Series champion in the first place.
Yeah, it honestly should have worked in their favor, but they failed to use it against their favor. Well, this wraps it up for sports. Back to you guys at the news desk.
Andy, I hate to say it, but I think the Dodgers are in need of a new skipper.
Definitely.
Now we take a short break, but when we return, moving from the diamond to the sky. Amazing images coming into our newsroom of the solar eclipse that happened over the weekend.
And in entertainment, Drake's back, Mariah's back, but guess who isn't? Drew Barrymore's writers. Plus,
a new animal shelter in the San Gabriel Valley is giving hope for animals around the country. I'm Raya Torres for Beach TV News, and I have the story after the break.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. Of course, it's awkward to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping. Hey, bestie, how sketch is vaping? It's hard to get their attention. Ready? Go. Yes, look at that. You didn't turn yours over. So if you want to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping, you have to get it trending. Right, Backpack Kid?
Let's do it.
First, invite your kid to do the vape talk. Let's try this. All right.
Why is he here?
Yeah, I gotta get it trending, honey.
Come on.
To the left. To the right. Let's go.
Oh, honey, can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
I see a lot of your friends vaping.
Visit talkaboutVaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
Women are bad with money.
That's what the world's been saying for centuries.
But now, we've got something to say.
Save it. Save the old-fashioned advice, the empty excuses. It's all worthless, unlike us.
To our fellow females, it is time to save ourselves by saving our money.
Contributing to our futures, investing in our independence.
Until we're no longer 80%
more likely than men to live in poverty in retirement.
So again, we say to that,
Save it. The falsehoods, the feelings of fault. Then the funds.
learn how to save for your retirement at wesaysaveit.org.
Welcome back. Rare solar eclipse that looked like a ball of fire lit up the sky this weekend. With the moon directly in between the sun and Earth, viewers in the Southwest got a view of a rare ring of fire that won't happen again for another 50 years. Certified eclipse glasses were sold out everywhere as spectators stocked up to enjoy this once-in-a-lifetime view. The entire eclipse lasted about 2.5 hours, leaving the sky lit up with the moon's flames. If you didn't get a chance to watch the blazing solar eclipse, no worries. Head over to NASA's website.
The moon may have a ring of fire, but the entertainment world is definitely experiencing the heat. Our reporter Alexis Brucci has more on this. Alexis?
That's right, Drake dropped a new album, but who is he throwing shade at, and which talk show is in hot waters?
With the end of the Writers Guild of America strike underway, Drew Barrymore's show faces trouble and newfound attention when writers for the show announced they will not be returning. Back in September, Barrymore attempted to bring her show back even though the strike was still ongoing. This did not sit well with writers of the show, therefore causing their refusals to return. Barrymore recently made it known her show would be returning October 16th, following a statement from her writers announcing they will not be returning. Barrymore is not the only celebrity to be facing backlash. After the release of Drake's new album, fans are speculating possible shade. In the release of his newest music, Drake seems to be calling out past partner Rihanna. Rihanna, who recently had her second baby with A$AP Rocky, is speculated by fans to be referred to in Drake's Fear of Heights. In the song, Drake claims he is not still hung up on Rihanna and even uses the Caribbean slang word for girl, which further proves to fans Rihanna is heavy on his mind. Will the rapper's 8th studio album do well even with the subliminal shade to the beloved Rihanna? It is speculated the answer to that will be yes. For All the Dogs is already projected to do amazing. In other music industry news, Mariah Carey and all Christmas lovers are buzzing with excitement at a new announcement. Fans don't want a lot for Christmas. This is all they're asking for. Mariah Carey's Christmas tour, which is kicking off November 15th in Highland, California. Carey, similar to Santa Claus, will be visiting all over the country this holiday season. The Christmas tour will come to an end December 17th in New York City. The tour, which will consist of 13 stops, will be called the Merry Christmas One and All Tour. Tickets have already gone on sale, and as Carey stated on her social media, the actual defrosting has begun.
Wow, I can't believe that Drake was shading Rihanna in his new album. I wonder what Rihanna thinks about all of this. That's all for entertainment. I'm Alexis Brucci. Back to you guys at the news desk.
Looking for a four-legged friend? Well, we might have the answer for you.
Beach TV News reporter Raya Torres tells us about a new shelter saving one animal's one paw at a time.
Whether you're a dog lover or a cat person, or you're looking for a furry friend, look no further than Priceless Pets across Southern California. Priceless Pets is a nonprofit, no-kill organization. They promise to keep their animals happy and healthy until they find their forever home. Some animals come from owners who are unable to care for their pets, overcrowded shelters around the country, or places that need support.
We are able to help out with the overcrowding of all of the shelters that are around our locations. And we are reaching people all the way in Los Angeles, which is awesome.
In the last year, the County of Los Angeles reported that over 9,000 animals were euthanized in their shelters. Priceless Pets hopes to decrease this number by saving one by one until there are none. The City of Industry partnered up with Priceless Pets to open the first no-kill rescue in the San Gabriel Valley just over a month ago. Since the location's opening, around 25 families found their perfect matches.
My gosh, I mean, like, again, we're over the moon, like having another member to our family, and just we feel complete.
The organization is reliant on volunteers like Helen G. and her daughter. Helen says volunteering has been a positive experience that has helped her daughter learn about the value of life.
We need to be proud to be like living every day and then like enjoy life. And then the animals, they deserve to have a better life as well.
This location is the largest out of the 4 facilities opened in SoCal. This one features a cat lounge and a vet clinic that will soon cater to all the animals in the surrounding community. Reporting from San Gabriel Valley, Mariah Torres, Beach TV News.
So happy that these fellas are finding their forever homes. And with that, we reach the end of this edition of Beach TV News. I'm Andy Lopez.
And I'm Shane Jacobson. Remember, you can be a part of the conversation. Check us out on our social apps at Beach TV News. While you're there, tap that like and let us know which was your favorite story.
From all of us at BTVN, good night, Long Beach. This edition of Beach TV News is partially sponsored by Long Beach Transit.